I just bought this because it's better than this. What's happening, Panda Nation? Peter Von Panda here. I'm sitting in my Buick Encore, and I have this Sunshade up here. It is the middle of summer, and it gets hot. The sun makes this car rather toasty, and if you have a dark car like mine, it probably gets toastier than others. But I've got this Sunshade up here. This is just one of these like reflector shades. This is actually a pretty good one. This was like 46 bucks or something like that, and it's a pretty good fit. It's supposed to be a custom fit for this, and the reason that this is good is that it actually helps reflect the light and keeps the car cooler than it normally would be. It's a little greenhouse if you don't do that. However, this isn't perfect, and a couple things that I realized here. Because this has to be really rigid, it's actually pretty big. It's got some folds in it so I can take it out. It's actually not that easy to maneuver around the mirror here to make sure that that gets in there and stays in there. It kind of falls away from the glass a little bit, and that's really the big problem with this. While I think overall it does a pretty good job of helping keep the car cooler, what it does is it basically traps some air right between the glass and the sunshade, and so that part gets super hot. In fact, I have my Easy Pass right up here on the windshield, and that's actually fallen down before because it was basically in this zone between the sunshade and the glass and was just cooking, and the glue basically became so soft that it just fell away. And so this gets really hot, and so while the car may be cooler than it would be if you didn't have it in here, it can still actually get really hot, and this area stays really hot. Now, I picked up this because this is actually just a cloth sunshade, but I think it's going to fix this. Let me show you why. So this little sunshade is fundamentally different because it doesn't go on the inside, it goes on the outside. Now, it's actually classified as a sunshade and snow shade, and it comes like this. It's kind of folded up on itself, so it's a little packable travel bag on top of everything. And it advertises itself not only as a sunshade, but as a snow shield as well. Now, one thing I want to show you here is if I just flop it down here, you can hear, because you can't really see, that it has magnets in it. Not only down there, but up here too. So this thing really won't blow off. Now, if I unroll it here, what I want to show you is it's just kind of a thin piece of nylon. It has this reflective side. It kind of reminds me of a movie theater screen. And then this side is just matte finish. It does have this little piping around the edge here, but there are no ears or mirror covers or anything like that. And while I was a little worried about the fit, I actually realized that this is a little trapezoidal. It's a little tapered. It's actually wider at the bottom. Now, the bottom is actually just this straight edge here. The top will actually have this little pocket. So that's how you can figure out which side is a little narrower than the other. But as you can see, I can put this magnet right here on the fender. I can put this other magnet right here on the windowsill, and then I can put these right here. So it's pretty quick to put on, and it's certainly no slower than putting on the sun shield that goes inside. But what I love about this is now what it's really doing is it is blocking the sun and reflecting the sun before it gets into the car. So what that should do is actually make my windshield a lot cooler. If you walk up to the car without this, with my old windshield, and you put your hand here, man, that thing is hot. So you're stopping the sun from getting into the car itself. Now, a couple things I will say here is, one, you could probably secure this a little bit better by opening up your door and putting these inside, like just like that, and then closing the door, and that might help you secure the sucker from blowing away. I would also say that if someone were really intent on stealing this from you, they could probably just pull it off. But this is why I wanted to show you this one, because I found this one and it was like $3 or $4. So I wasn't really too worried about trying it out and maybe losing it in strong winds or having someone steal it, because I think you could replace it pretty easily. And if it works for you through the summer, man, you're going to get into a nice cool car without having to worry about getting scorched buns on the leather, because I'm always getting in my car naked anyway. And in the winter, if you're parking somewhere, you know, in your work parking lot, in your driveway, and it snows, instead of just putting the windshield wipers up and then scraping off the snow, this should help repel a lot of that snow. So it's going to be a lot easier to clean off your windshield. Just kind of peel this away before you jump in your car. So I really like this thing so far. It packs up a lot smaller. Obviously, it's about the size of a wallet when it's scrunched up, so it's going to be easier to store. You can put this in your glove box. Much easier to store than the big cardboard sunscreens that go in there, and they are much cheaper too. So if you've been wanting to make sure that your car is as cool as it can be when you jump in, didn't want to spend a lot of money, wanted to have something that was super convenient, I think you should pick this up. I'll put a link to it in the description below. Peter Von Panda, out.
We can discover more and explore so much deeper.